First of all, thanks a lot to avail yourself. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for getting me.
So much. As you know, sir, that we'll be talking about dams and, the severe and worst condition. You would see that, yeah, I can see that a huge amount of flooding is there in Pakistan. And especially if you talk about Balochistan, it is a kind of hazardous situation there. So I would like you to introduce yourself, first of all, and then what would you say about it? Like, what are the reasons of this much huge amount of flood coming in Pakistan?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Zainam. I'm an engineer from Pakistan, working in North America for last 22 years. I've got special interest in hydrology of Pakistan and especially water resources and power engineering, hydropower. Here, I would say this is half part of picture. Still, this year we didn't get the bigger floods in plains, like the main rivers. Balochistan actually makes more than half of Pakistan's area. So whenever monsoon comes, there is always chance of rain. But this year it was like 3 times more than normal. And whatever water comes with rain, it has to go through its defined path and reach the sea. So what happened is that if it was spread on a longer time, there wouldn't be a lot of problem, although the water, most of our water in Balochistan goes to sea, but the arrival of rain was intensified to a shorter period. That's why it caused so much damage. We need to have 2-3 standard SOPs to get rid of such disasters in future. One is don't disturb the river flow pattern. Other is like building smaller dams, check dams, water flood control dams. We have already quoted a figure earlier, like 10 years ago, government made a plan to build a lot of small dams in Balochistan. Mediums haven't. There's only one dam on Dasht right now, the bigger one. But most of the dams in Balochistan are small ones, and there are like hundreds of more plans. With time and better design and better planning, maintenance, everything, it will get better with time if government pays attention and spends money where it is due. Right now, there is no other way. Like most of Balochistan is pretty higher than the plains of Punjab, and to mitigate the floods, we need to tackle the water at the elevation where it arrives. So we need to design better dams, design not just for optimal storage, but for extra capacity for flood control, absorbing flood, and better spillways that can pass the flood if the dam is overtopped. So this year we heard about some damages to dams too. We need better planning and better maintenance of the dams, inspections, etc., before the flood season, and we can handle them in future much better with better planning and spending.
All right. So, sir, I have a question. Is it true that Punjab, in Punjab, dams cannot be made? If you can just shed some light on it.
Yeah, most of Punjab, except from Pothwar region, doesn't have topography to construct dams, except there are 2 old designs. One is in Chaniot, one is in Thal Reservoir, but they are not very efficient. But Pothwar, it is a part of Punjab, and it has got huge capacity to build dams. At least one of them is the biggest of all. It is like 6 times bigger than Kalabagh. It is off-channel storage. It can be used for Indus water and Swan River catchment. So for Punjab, we can't say. There is a pretty big potential. Um, Other thing is that same valley, it offers an option to bypass the flooding of Kabul and Swat River Basin. So the biggest problem about Kalabagh was that backwater effects can harm upstream Vale of Peshawar, but here we can split the flood by diverting Indus water toward Potuar for 100 days of flood season, and that can, like, instead of it can fix the situation from what situation we have there. It can make things better on both sides, in Peshawar Valley and in rest of downstream Punjab and Indus, Sindh.
Okay.
So Punjab has a promising potential if we count Potuar too.
Right. So suppose from your point of view, what do you think that almost how many years needs are required to establish on any kind of project of dam, like suppose with soil test, feasibility, and bidding, how much longer period of time does it take to build up one kind of project of dam?
Uh, the way I've seen Chinese working nowadays in last 10, 15 years, they have made new records of speeding up things and building them pretty quickly. I live here in Canada. Some large projects, they take years and years and even decades. But I guess a project like large dam in Pakistan, if Chinese companies are involved, they can make it happen within 4 or 5 years and even faster. Now, the Amir Bhasha Dam is an exception because it needed a lot of infrastructure adjustments, but still the pace over there is very fast, and they may complete it by 2028. This is what I've heard. And that is much earlier than the anticipated 14, 15-year construction period. So compared to that, a dam in a location of Punjab or even Kalabagh, these dams, they won't take more than 5 years.
All right. Okay. So, as you know, that Kalabagh Dam has also become like a political issue, and on the other hand, other provinces' objections. You know about that. So, do you think that Kalabagh is on a fault line?
Kalabagh has been politicized for so long. It had some drawbacks too. As an engineer, I would say we have a bigger option, like the Swamp project that I mentioned earlier. It has capacity 6 times bigger than Kalabagh. And it doesn't harm the footprint of Kalabagh. So, and it can cover all the irrigated areas of Kalabagh. And in addition to that, it can irrigate like 4 or 5 times more lands. So I would say Kalabagh is a good project. The upstream problems and its own design issues and capacity issues are there. Because see, Pakistan average floods, they are like anywhere from 18 to 90 million acre foot. Now, Kalabagh total storage is 6 million acre foot, and we don't have them the dams of this size always ready for flood when they arrive, because they arrive without any warning. It happened in Tarbela, it happened in Mangla. We see the dam is already like 3/4 full, and flood comes and we can't absorb it. So having an off-channel storage and a bigger dam, that is the best option. Kalabagh can be used for producing electricity, but I would not support it being the primary storage and in the main stem of Indus at a prime location where flood has the maximum flow rate, like 93 million acre foot water flows from that point every year. And in summer it is like 63, 64 million acre foot. For at that location, having a just 6.1, 6.2 million acre foot storage won't help much, because downstream for Indus Delta we need 5-6 million acre foot flow, so that is equal to Kalabagh's total storage. So how can we convince Sindh to support a dam that can hardly provide water for Delta, and other province and even Punjab and Sindh, they want more water for agriculture. So here's the deal. Go for Kalabagh whenever it is feasible, but we have got 6 times bigger storage in Swan. And like there can be 3 dedicated full dams like Kalabagh for in Sindh province only, including Sindh, Thar Parker Desert, Delta, Karachi, and other 3 fully available for Cholistan, Thal, and KPK and Balochistan. So it's a win-win situation for everyone, if only they understand.
All right. So, sir, one thing I also noticed, almost I did research, and what I've just found that we have almost in Pakistan 150 dams altogether, whereas with India, what I've seen, the figure is like almost 5,202. Altogether they have like large dams and big dams and medium-sized dams. So, what do you think? How much number of dams we require in Pakistan to support this, or to just deal with or mitigate with flooding and all kind of storage purposes?
So actually, the total figure is always a little bit confusing, because we have only 2 big dams right now. There are medium-sized dams, like 12, 13 medium-sized dams in Pakistan, but they all of them put together, they don't closer to even a like fraction of Tarbela or Mangla. Other 100 plus dams, they are even smaller, and they put together, they can't match a medium-sized dam of like those 10, 12 that I mentioned. After that, there are so many chuck dams in KPK and Balochistan, and government quotes them in thousands, but they don't have any significant storage. They are just meant to be a leaky dam that just stops flood for a while and then absorbs the water and lets it go back to the river system, main river system, that is Indus or maybe to sea. So the best figure to measure the capacity is like the days of storage we have right now. It is like 20, 22 days storage. What we need, actually, this is WAPTA's figure quoted in Prime Minister's office. They say we need 120 days of storage. And this is where we will be able to have like a carryover capacity, which means that we can use the stored water up to next monsoon. So we don't have any like drought period in between, like we used to have right now from mid-March to mid-July. Our rivers almost run dry, and the demand is very high. Yes, the Amir Bhasha Dam can decrease it by like another couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, I would say. But the total storage capacity will be, after building the Amir Bhasha Dam, it will be like 40, 45 days maximum. We need 120 days. If you translate into million acre foot, it can be anywhere like 52, 53 million acre foot. We are right now at 13. It is going to go up to 18 after the Amir Bhasha is ready, but we need bigger storage. Now, government plans are like pushing for Kalabagh, pushing for Akori, other such dams. They are put together. They can never make 120 days or 50 million acre foot. So we need to look for conventional and unconventional both solutions. And any other suggestions? I've been raising voice for this for so long, but right now we need to try harder.
All right. So, sir, in terms of dams management, what would you say, like, how to do the management of the dams? Because what I know that since when those dams have been built up or have been made, so do you think that maintenance have already every years been done? And you also know that silt comes in the dam. So how to remove the silt from the dam also? So if you can just talk about a little bit about this. Dams management and to remove the salt from the dams.
Uh, Large dams, large and small medium dams, they have pretty good SOPs and standards set for their management. Actually, in Pakistan, I know about Tarbela and Mangla. They've got very good standard operating procedures and practices. So they are very safe. Other thing is that they are old projects. They don't have a silt transport mechanism. But the newer designs upstream, Dasu and Basha, they are going to have the flushing channels for flushing tunnels for sediment transport. So it won't be an issue. Unfortunately, for Tarbela, it's about like I would say more than 1/3 capacity is already silted up with the blockage for last 45 years, and that is harming the power generation at dam. A couple of years ago, the silt arrived into the power tunnels, and it harmed the project. Now we need to revise the SOPs and try to avoid more silt reaching the turbines. Other option, like there are a couple of off-the-shelf options for Tarbela Dam, like on right bank, creating new tunnels to flush it back, flush the sediment back into Indus River. But it has a couple of like it is costly. It takes $3 to $5 billion to create those tunnels. In SWA project, there is an option to doing the same thing on left bank, and it will be part of project, and it will start releasing the silt back to Indus River just below Ghazi Brotha project. And there's a figure like total sediment transport of Indus River is like 400 million tons per year. Half of it is blocked for now, but if we flush it, we can make at least another quarter of silt going down again. That is very crucial to the agriculture and giving nutrition to our agriculture and forestry and delta everywhere. So that is one thing. Other is like the seawater intrusion and erosion at sea. If we start getting fresh silt coming downstream, it will help stop that pattern, and it will reverse the process and make environment.
All right. Finally, I would ask you about, because you discussed that earlier as well, about your project, your Soa Dam. So, for how many years do you think that this project would be done? And so, what are you hoping and about this project that can also solve a lot more problems in regards for flood and purpose as well? So, what do you think that, if you can just share?
There are two parts of the timeline. One is how long it takes to build, and other is how long it will last. So that is the biggest thing. It can be made very quickly, and it can last for a really long time. Not just like Tarbela. Tarbela lifespan will be 80 years to 100 years, somewhere closer to that. But off-channel storage, like a swamp project, it has a really long life, like more than about like 500 to 1,000 year, even more, because it doesn't carry silt, so the storage will never be silted up, and it will continue and it will have a continued flushing mechanism for the main stem cell too. So it is everlasting project. If we build it, it takes very short time, and only thing is we need to recognize it and have a will to do something about it. Now, there's a I'm not very vocal about it for now, but yeah, there are so many parameters in which it can be unbelievably helpful towards Pakistan's environment and economy and everything. If you like, I can spend hours. But just to summarize, water intrusion is one thing, sediment transport is the other thing, delta environment is another thing, whole Indus Valley environmental impact is another thing, because it will be providing environmental flow all around the year, 365 days, 12 up to 12,000 cusics, because it can have dedicated storage for this environmental flow that can be also used for river navigation that is very cheap than road or railway. Other thing is flood control. From Tarbela to Thatta, it will control all the floods. It will, one thing is that it will divide the floods. Other thing is that it will capture 30 to 35 million acre foot every year, and that can be used later. So it will provide carryover storage that no other dam can do right now. Bypassing flood is one thing. Other thing is its storage is very cheap. Compared to Jamir Basha, it is more than 10 times cheaper because it's half price and 6 times bigger. So just do the basic math. Other is flexibility and reliability. Flexibility of the schedule for irrigation and generating power. It will become independent. You can perform peak performance of your hydel projects. Meanwhile, you don't have to worry about when we need the water for agriculture downstream. So that is a big thing. Global warming, cloudburst, geolof, landslides, all these things are going to create a lot of disasters in future.
Yeah.
So every now and then there will be something, but a dam of such capacity, it can absorb all such disasters and make us carefree about that. More thing is Indus Cascade power production that will be working on peak performance. It can be linked to Punjab's irrigation system to cover all the deserts downstream that in all 4 provinces. So that's another thing. There are 22 million acres of land available and waiting for water to be available that is going to sea right now. So 22 million acres mean you can have 10 million new jobs and about 50 million people depending upon it. So, yeah. And they produce, it is going to boost the national economy. It is going to boost your exports. And it will change the balance of trade. So the economic problems we have right now, this is a big promising factor. And other thing is CPEC, we have CPEC in place, we have roads, we have railway networks, we need something to export. Unless we produce something, we don't make full use of the CPEC saga.
All right. Oh. So this session would be so insightful for my viewers, and thanks a lot for coming, for joining for today's session. And inshallah, I'll do another session with you so soon. I'll let you know. And for now, I'm just closing the session, and I can hope for the best for the Sawa Dam, for your project. Thanks a lot, and I would say bye-bye from my side.
Thank you very much. Bye.